Hi and welcome to Movies Suck. And yet again we have a celebrity that sucks. Really, really sucks. As you would expect of modern day Hollywood, it's full of people that have no idea what they're talking about and who have a serious agenda issue. And today we're talking about Natalie Portman. Wonderful, huh? So, Natalie Portman, the star of Thor, Love and Thunder, which we're all so looking forward to. I imagine there are a few of you out there that are actually looking forward to watching this film, but personally, I think it's going to be woke garbage. Because that's just the way that Marvel is going, and that Hollywood has been for a very long time. So, without further ado, let's get on with the story. And the story today is that Natalie Portman has rewritten some classic fairy tales. Because, oh my god, they seem to focus on male characters. Ah, no, how terrible. So, Thor Love and Thunder actress. It says actor, but, well, the terminology is actress. I find it strange that people seem to ignore that these days. But anyway, Natalie Portman recently revealed that she's taken it upon herself to rewrite classic fairy tales because they mainly feature male protagonists, publishing a book that features gender-neutral characters instead. Oh, well done, Natalie. Just amazing work. What a great idea. And no, I'm not serious. It's a pointless, stupid, moronic, idiotic idea, as you are all no doubt aware. According to Hello Magazine, as reported by Breitbart, Portman decided to rewrite some of these classic fairy tales because they did not reflect the world. In her book titled Natalie Portman's Fables, Portman explained, "I found myself changing the pronouns in many of their books because so many of them had overwhelmingly male characters, disproportionate to reality." Could it be that possibly the writers were writing about males when they wrote them? Or they just had the idea that these characters were male? Oh my god, how terrible is that? I see where we all went wrong here. This is why She-Ra had to be created, because, we had He-Man, but it's like, he's problematic, we really should replace him with She-Ra. Not the fact that they actually had He-Man, they thought, well, let's create a character that girls would like, that's a similar sort of thing, let's give him She-Ra. No, because why just get rid of He-Man and have She-Ra instead? He-Trans, could call him that. Yeah, I don't know where I got that from. So, it is absolutely pathetic, stupid, puerile, and dumb as, add your own swear word, whichever one you prefer. So she said, "Boys need to see that women have a multitude of opportunities open to them, to consider what they think and feel, and how they experience the world." Okay, well, I guess that sounds fine. Women have as many opportunities as men open to them. I don't understand why they should be able to contemplate what they think and feel when we're talking about small children. Maybe a bit later on when they get a bit older and they've done something that's upset them and they're having to figure out exactly what it was, which I know all you guys out there have been in exactly the same boat, and you just cannot for the life of you figure out, what did I do? What did I do? I just don't understand. The reason being that women are, they're complicated. So this is a very, very difficult issue that many psychologists have spent a lot of time trying to figure out, and your average layman will never understand. Between you and me, we are the average layman, and we will never properly understand exactly what women think. Just to the same degree, they will never understand exactly what it's like to be a man and how men have lived, or how we live. So this is swings and roundabouts, really. You just do your best as much as you can. James Halliwell Phillips' The Three Little Pigs, as well as Aesop's The Tortoise and the Hare, and The Town Mouse and the Country Mouse, are the classic fairy tales that Natalie Portman deemed necessary to give a breath of fresh 21st century air. Well, that's an interesting choice. After all, the Three Little Pigs are, pigs. So why she feels the need that they have to have features characteristic of the modern world is rather strange, even though they are obviously anthropomorphic pigs, but nevertheless, that's not the point. Do you think she's going to go with the two pigs that built their houses of straw and sticks were men, and then the clever female built her house of bricks? Wasn't she clever? So she didn't get eaten by the hungry wolf. Yeah, that's more than likely how it's going to go, I imagine. I've not looked at the book. I'm interested to find out, though. But I don't really want to buy one. Maybe I'll just see if there's anything lying around the place that I just happened to stumble across. Because who the hell would want to buy this crap? And then you have Aesop's Fables, The Tortoise and the Hare, a story about how consistency and just determination can get you somewhere, and how even if you are really fast and can do things really quickly, if you're a bit flighty, get distracted, then you're gonna mess up. It's just about determination and dedication. I wonder what she thinks it's about. Then you have the town mouse and the country mouse. A story about a mouse that lives in the country who lives kind of average, poor, just a good old boy kind of mouse. And then you have the town mouse who lives all high and mighty and has a really nice house and all this sort of stuff, but has to live in fear every day of being eaten. So the country mouse says, yeah, I kind of think living in the country is a bit better because I don't have to worry about being eaten all the time. Not a bad synonym for modern life, where cities are cesspits of democratic fools who don't really understand what the idea of liberal is. They seem to think liberal means communist. No, that's not the case. They're a bunch of idiots. And whereas the people living in the country seem to be, kind of clued up and a bit more sensible. Strange how that works, isn't it? I'm not sure that she's going to think of it that way. And I wonder if she also realizes that she's culturally appropriating another culture's stories here. Alright, they're useful stories for everyone, but they're also written by a slave. So she's culturally appropriating a slave's stories and adjusting a slave's stories. Do you think she thinks about the damage she's doing and how little she but thinks of that slave who died? Actually died in a kind of horrible way. As far as I remember, he went to Delphi, and in Delphi they threw him off a cliff because they were appeasing a god of some sort. Not a fun way to go after he'd been freed, but still, that's life. In any case, I think she just doesn't like slaves. Probably hates slaves. Maybe she just really likes bondage. I mean, people that have been in bondage. I know what I mean. Anyway, Portman goes on to explain how strong, independent women can't always be depicted in a way that makes them seem perfect. Women don't just need to be badass warriors or fierce and confident. We also need characters who have self-doubt, who make mistakes. Because we all mess up. We're human, Portman told Hello magazine. Okay. So you don't want women to be depicted as strong and independent? Well, that sounds like the old fairy tales and things. Women aren't normally classified as perfect in those. They usually all have some sorts of problems, and I don't know anywhere in society that we depict women as being absolutely perfect all the time. At least, not in normal society. There are other parts of society where they just can't help themselves. That was a strange cough. I don't know what happened there. And about women being badass warriors and fierce and confident, well, those are actually true things in the real world. You don't have to make that crap up. There are women in history that fit those characteristics. Women like Boudica, or Boadicea, however you want to pronounce it these days, or Joan of Arc, Artemisia. All women that were badass warriors and also that made mistakes and weren't quite perfect. After all, they all ended up, well, dead. At least one of them actually killed themselves. But still, that's beside the point. So many people say things like women are stronger and better leaders and think they're making a feminist statement, but it's limiting for a woman or anyone to be put on a pedestal, she said. Hang on, just going back to my first point just a minute ago here, but we will add the name Margaret Thatcher. They were brave, strong, and great leaders of their time. I can't imagine you're going to find many women around like that these days, because they wouldn't be given a chance. They don't have the right politics for the modern world. You're only allowed to be successful if you think a certain way these days. And who knows why the hell that is, because these leftist, feminazi, moronic people are in a minority, a vast minority, so how are they so powerful? Who the hell knows? She would go on to add, a pedestal is just another kind of cage. Well, not as such, but sometimes you just can't help but look at people in a certain way, and it can be tough to live up to. However, in an interview with Good Morning America back in October, Portman took the opportunity to explain why it is important for her to portray powerful female characters, especially now that she'll be playing Mjolnir-wielding Jane Foster in Taika Waititi's up-and-coming Thor Love and Thunder. Dear God, I can't look forward to that less. I truly can't. The comics were bullshit. The film is no doubt gonna be bullshit. Marvel is skidding down that hill so goddamn fast. If they're not careful, they're not going to be able to stop before they hit the cliff. For boys to see women in positions of power is almost more important than for girls, because I think that is the way we raise a generation that will look at all genders as human, Portman said. What? I'm sorry, what? There are any generations that don't look at females as being human? I think that's a remarkably stupid statement. Stupid being a mild way of putting it, because I would use probably a word that begins with the letter R, which might be more accurate. She added, and that's how we get to equality. No, that's not how you get to equality. We've hit equality. We got there. That's all fine. We did that a long time ago. Back in, who knows when, the 70s, the 80s? Yeah, we did the equality thing. You don't want equality. That's the problem right now. These particular third wave feminists don't want equality. If they did, they'd have been happy, but they don't. And women are never going to be equal to men in many other things that require physicality. So what she's talking about is equality of outcome, and that is just nonsense. Also, while promoting her Natalie Portman's Fables, the actress was asked about how she discusses gender roles with her children in October. She stated, "The thing is, you have to think what is age appropriate for kids. Kids don't come out knowing that there are obstacles. I don't really want to introduce to my child at age 3 that she's going to have all these hardships because she's a girl. We can talk about it when she's older." Well, it can't be helped. Women are different from men, and men are different from women. They both have hardships and obstacles that they are going to have to fight hard to get through, depending on what it is that they want to do. And obviously there are some things they will never, ever be able to do, in either case. So I wonder what she's thinking of. I imagine that she's thinking of, well, being held back by men. Oh, my daughter's going to be held back by other men. No, that's not what's going to happen. Your son's probably going to be held back by nonsense laws brought in by idiots. As we all know, white people are one of the lower performing people in Western society these days. She continued, "For a boy, I think the most important thing is to be conscious of how what you do or what you say can make other people feel? I don't know. That's what storytelling is. You want to talk to them equally about the issues. Fair enough, I always believe in talking to people equally about issues. Just don't expect them to think exactly the same way as you. That's where we get discussion. As long as they're not morons who cannot actually see another side of an argument. For me, I don't really want to talk about the big issues right now with them. I think it's too early. I started talking to my son a little about how to treat people nicely. The core of it is just caring for other people and imagining how they feel," the actor added. She discovered the golden rule. Wow, well done her. Everyone else has known about this for absolutely ever, but she's actually discovered the golden rule. Do you think she'll apply it to anything else? I wonder. She went on to say, "If anything, boys need it more than girls." Really? At 3, the age my daughter is now, is not necessarily something that they would understand anyway, all the time excited to introduce. Oh, here's an obstacle. They're so unaware of any kind of gender definitions or restrictions. Of course, why would they have any idea? They won't have any idea until they're like, I don't know, between 8 and 10 more than likely. Finally, she concluded, "What I wanted to teach both of them was to have empathy for all people. It is exposing them to stories that have protagonists that are all genders, backgrounds, and ability levels." Oh dear God. I can just imagine how she's thinking about that statement, and it just sounds dumb as hell. You just know that she's not thinking of it from a logical standpoint. She's thinking of it from a Hollywood leftist, activist, nonsense-driven, moronic standpoint, and it's going to be painful and terrible to hear what arguments she might make. This wouldn't be the first time that the Star Wars and Thor actress has pandered to the leftist demographic. In June of last year, for instance, Portman and controversial MCU colleague Brie Larson signed an open letter to defund the police. You see where the stupidity comes in. Only a moron would come up with something like that. A truly stupid, foolish, moronic idiot. Portman also protested unrecognized female directors during an Academy Awards ceremony in February 2020, with said female directors embroidered names on her cape. But she was immediately called out for her hypocrisy of having actually not worked with many female directors, which she says is, "It's not my fault. It can't be helped. They just didn't offer me any roles." Okay, bigot. It seems that these days, not even classic tales by authors like Greek fabulist Aesop, no less, are out of bounds for self-entitled SJWs who believe the world would be a better place if they wrote history to fit their own woke narrative. They don't like the world the way it is. They don't like what we've built. They don't like the success we've had. And they want to break it all down and destroy it. I wonder how she's going to feel when the communists come for all of her possessions and property, and how she doesn't really get to be the mother of her children because they don't really believe in that kind of gender stereotypical role. They want community parenting. Sometimes I just pity the world. Let's hope we can shrug this bollocks off and get on with life the way it should be, like normal, sensible people, not like Hollywood-agendaed nonsense runners. This has been Movie Sucks signing out. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.